Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Y'all know who I am. I'm Jay, aka the Moderate Texan. I'm back with you again. Finally, it's been a while, hasn't it, y'all? Had some surgery in the time that since I've last streamed. I had a bit of fun. I've been working a lot. But yo, it's a different day. It's a new dawn. It's a new season, y'all. Let's talk about it. Y'all know who it is. I'm here. I'm Jay. I'm the Moderate Texan. This is the Moderate Texan podcast. Happy to be back with you. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All the information you guys want to hear and talk about. Plan on streaming again a little bit more regularly going here soon, especially as stuff is dying down. And let's have a bit of fun. Let's have some mock drafts. Let's talk about free agency. Let's talk about hiring. Let's talk about anything y'all want to talk about. But today, it's new league year. Day 2 of the new league year. It's going to be a real fun time, a real good experience. Let's have some fun with it. Beige, good to see you, my guy. It's great to be back. We will have Matt here pretty soon. He's doing some stuff. He'll be back soon. But for right now, it's just me, and we're gonna have some good stuff to talk about today. But y'all know how it always goes. I always start off saying, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're here. You know that this stuff is also on Spotify. It gets uploaded on Fridays at 10 a.m. After the day after I stream. You guys know that it's on Google Podcast as well as on grilled cheese. Good stuff. Like it. One of the best sandwiches in the world. But I think PB&J is better. You guys know it's on all the Spotify networks that are out there. As I said, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. You guys can get a hold of me via email, themoderatetexan at gmail.com. You guys can see that in the description below. You guys can get a hold of me on Twitter. And if there's anything you guys want me to pray for, please go ahead and put that in the comments section. If you don't want it there, you can message me, you can text me, hit me up on Discord, wherever you guys want to hit me up. So let's jump into the first bit today. Quick side note. You guys know how it goes. It always goes from the normal intro stuff to a quick side note. Today, I've kind of had this on my heart for a while, and it's been a while since we've kind of talked about it, but I really wanted to talk about two people. The first is Ja Morant. The whole Ja Morant situation is crazy. I don't know if y'all are following it. I don't know who cares about Ja Morant. I know Matt does. But this situation is insane. You have a kid who is just wanting to do fried PB&J does sound fire, actually. That is a legit sandwich. And that is also a legit sandwich. Dijon mustard instead. That's even better if you do that. But getting back to Ja Morant has kind of gone around and messed with himself, messed with his life, just because he wants to do hood rat stuff with his friends. As the little kid says, right? Why, right? Eminem says it best, can't have halfway crooks. Dude's going out there, he's having guns and beating up 17-year-olds and, trying to do crazy stuff in Memphis. That's not his life anymore, right? And this is all allegedly, obviously. Great player, but come on, man. As a person, you can't try and be Tupac. Tupac was the hood before he did attend Juilliard. He did do some other stuff as well. He acted. He had some good life stuff, but he was from the hood. He grew up in Harlem. This is not Ja Morant, right? You can't do that. And he is an insane player, but he's acting stupid outside of the NBA, and you can't do that. You can no longer surround yourself with people like that. What's good, Josh? Good to see you, my guy. Much love for you. But let's flip it. Let's reverse it. Shoot, I agree with Pat Bev here. Trying to be gangsters too much rather than rappers. Rappers, that's the persona, but that just quit it. Play the game, be who you're supposed to be, and that's it. But let's flip the side. Let's flip the script. We know what Ja Morant's doing. We know the craziness that's going on with him. But let's look at the other side. And the other side of the hat is Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders has been getting railed by the African American community. Yes, My Hero Academia, and if you guys can see right there, that is my boy Deku, and I've got some other characters there. I think I have a character behind me as well. Yeah, he's covered by Battle Red. Deku's back there as well. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Deion Sanders and what's been going on with him. Deion Sanders is doing the exact opposite of what Ja Morant has been doing. Ja Morant is coming from a place of privilege and coming from a place of he's gotten out of this lifestyle and he's trying to go back into it. Deion Sanders he's in that place of privilege and he's trying to pull people out of it. It does look good, Cat. You know how it goes. What we are not we, not as everybody, but I have noticed a tremendous anger from the African American community as they have slandered, essentially, in my opinion, Deion Sanders, to say, oh, he's being racist by saying things like, I want this thing in a quarterback and I want this thing in a defensive lineman. He's trying to pull people out of he's trying to pull people out of bad situations. 1. 2, he's making boys men. And that's something that you don't see in the African American community a lot. And he's doing it. Yet he gets slandered for it. And so my kind of like final bit on this is one thing I would like to see in America, one thing I'd like to see in our communities today is to quit objectifying the criminal behavior of people who are in positions of power and objectify those who have and are doing what's right for people around us, who are trying to raise people up from where they are, pull them out of that muck and bring them to a better situation. That's just my thoughts. If you guys disagree, agree, hate what I've stated, love what I've stated, give me some feedback. If you guys want to talk more about that, we definitely can. But that's just my thought on that. As we move forward. So, free agency. Let's talk a little bit about that. I am definitely not the most qualified to wear the cap shirt. I think there's other people, Pat Storm, and our boy, the actual El Capitan, Jordan. That's the caps there. I'm just a guy who's here and likes to talk with. Thank you. Much love to all y'all. As we kind of move ahead, let's talk a little bit about free agency. So, free agency this year. How are you guys feeling about it? What are you guys getting? Give me some feedback. What are you guys seeing from free agency? What are you guys feeling about free agency? I know we've signed some good people. We've signed some people that are like, what is that? We've signed some mediocre, and it looks like we're possibly going to sign some other stuff. There's been some other floaters out there. My favorite move. I'm looking at it now. Let's take a look. So we've signed Sheldon Rankins, we've signed Robert Woods, Noah Brown, Jimmy Ward, Tavier Thomas has been brought back Case Keenum, Derek Rivers, Hassan Ridgeway, Chase Vinovich, Mike Boone, Andrew Beck. I think we've signed someone else, haven't we? Shaq Mason we traded for as well. And Murray gets that extension, which was baffling. So favorite move out of free agency as a whole, I think has to be Sheldon Rankin. That's probably the best move of free agents. Period. That's just it. It's gotta be Sheldon Rankin. My least favorite play, however, um, I think honestly, my least favorite play, and y'all know who he is. He's my favorite player on the special teams. Is losing Tremont Smith. I think that's probably the biggest loss outside of Agbo Okoronkwo. I think he deserved a little bit of a contract. He played pretty well, and you kind of just let him go for nothing. Right? You could have traded him, you could have re-signed him, and then got it. If we're bad again, which we probably won't be in the playoffs next year, but if we're not super competitive next year, you could have traded him for more pieces down the line. I think Cap said it best from Cap and Trade Show. We could have used something like that to kind of help out, especially with people like Jerry Hughes, with Desmond King, so on and so forth. But yeah, the Murray restructure, and if we're going to look at everything, the Murray restructure and the re-signing of Scott Quessenberry, those are quite possibly the two worst moves I've ever seen. I don't know why we aren't cutting him unless he's just a can't body cut, Murray. And Quessenberry, I don't know what the heck's going on there. I would have hoped they would have signed one of the major centers, but most of those guys stayed with their teams. My biggest one was the guy from yeah, hope they're camp bodies. I definitely yeah. I'm the one that's talking, so you owe me a Coke. That's cool stuff. I do like the Ward signing. It shows that Ryan's is D'Amico is or Cap. It's on this side, wherever it is. Cap himself is and coach is in on all of the personnel, and that this is a full where it's coach and GM are synergy, right? It's great stuff. I do also like the Shaq Mason trade. I think he's perfect for Houston based on his name alone. Shaquille Elijah Mason. That's what else do I need to say? Elijah one's up in there, so that's good stuff. I can agree with this as a B plus. I would have given it a straight B, strictly on terms of keeping Scott Quessenberry and Eric Murray. That was useless, in my opinion. That was the dumbest mistake, in my opinion, that you could have made. I understand they could be there for camp bodies and there to help, but yeah, that was no good. What's up, Nolf? What's up, Jerry? Good to see you, my guy. Thanks for stopping through. I will say that I think our one of our most intriguing signings, one of my most intriguing signings that I think we have, is bringing in Case Keenum. And the reason I say that is because I think it shows what Case Keenum or what the offense is going to try and be. I think it's EJ Speed. I think that's the other one we brought in, along with Davis Mills and Case Keenum there. I think EJ Speed is probably either going to be a practice squad guy or he's going to be cut. Right? I don't think we have him for very long. And I don't know how long we're going to keep Davis Mills, but we'll probably have him because D'Amico doesn't want to go through what he went through in San Francisco, where he had no quarterback in the playoffs. But Case Keenum is EJ Perry. Yeah, EJ Perry. Thanks for that. Beige. But I will say that the reason Case Keenum is intriguing to me is because this will be the third time that he's played in a Shanahan-style offense. He did it here with the Texans with Kubiak, and he did it in Minnesota with, again, Kubiak. And so now he's coming back with Slowick, and he's got the ability to help teach whatever quarterback we pick up in the draft. Hopefully that's Bryce Young, and if it's not, hopefully it's CJ Stroud. But excellent stuff right there. I think for grabbing Case Keenum. We could have also grabbed. I know people were thinking that we were going to grab Jimmy Garoppolo. I think we dodged that bullet, and grabbed someone who has more experience with the Shanahan system than him. So yeah. Good stuff there. I want to talk about players that I would like to get. I know that Jadeveon Clowney and I think it's John Johnson from the Browns were cut. I really want Jadeveon Clowney back. I think not only because I have his jersey, but also because having Jadeveon Clowney back would be fantastic. It would give us a run stuffer off the edge that we could use whenever. We could have him, sporadically. We could have him get some good pass rush up in there every now and again. But really what you're wanting to do is get that good run stuffing ability that he provides you. So that's somebody I would like to also see as target. And of course, I want Denzel Perryman or one of these linebackers that have recently been released. I'm kind of wanting to stay away from Miles Jack. He hasn't played very well in the last couple of years, but I think Denzel Perryman would be top talent. And then you just draft some more linebackers. I think it's a deep edge class. Draft some edge, draft some linebackers, and you're good to go. I did see a good question here from Alpha. How you doing, Alpha? I think we didn't go after Brissett because we're looking for a quarterback that fits that system, the Shanahan system, that can teach a rookie quickly. Brissett is very good at teaching rookies how to play the game the right way, but he doesn't know the Shanahan system very well. I don't know if he's played in the Shanahan system ever. So it wouldn't be in our best interest to have to teach a backup quarterback and our new quarterback the system. It would be much better to just teach one person essentially and have somebody else have a second teacher there. Kind of like the Josh McCown to Deshaun Watson role that was there before Deshaun Watson allegedly did his unspeakable things. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. That's what I was looking at here. Any other questions or thoughts? I see here that Willie's got a sand for like Keenum can come in if needed, keep the rhythm. Any win streak we might potentially have next. Yeah, I think he can. I think he's a little older. He's not as agile as one of the two quarterbacks that are out there. Unless it's CJ, I think it's going to be similar agility there. Bryce is, I think, a little bit more agile than him. AR-15 is considerably more agile than him, and Levis is just a big boy. I don't think we get AR or Levis. I think we go, it's either Bryce or CJ, and I think it's Bryce, in my opinion. I think it is what it is. And if somehow it's not Bryce, it's CJ. That's just what I think. Yeah, I do think he'll be kind of our Colt McCoy. I don't really know if we go on a win streak next year. I do kind of foresee us being like the Jags were last year, a resilient team that are in every game. And I think we win a good chunk of them. I think we end up either being 7-10 or 8-9, maybe even 9-8 if we get some lucky breaks. Especially if we can get some wide receiver help in here. But yeah, and as for Mills, I think he can be a decent backup, but I don't think he sees the field much. I think he's going to be the third string, honestly, or he's going to get traded. Honestly, that's probably it. He's going to get traded to some team that can use him. A Patriots, a Carolina, after they draft whoever they're going to get, so on and so forth. Maybe even the Colts. That would be hilarious if he's playing for the Colts and then lights us up, right? That's teams that need that decent backup. Yeah, I think he gets traded to one of those. Bryce Young being the Steph Curry of the NFL, I don't know. I think people say that because of his size. The thing about Steph Curry in the NBA is he has everything except he's got the injury history against him. His ankles are meh at best. He gets injured a lot. And that's kind of what holds him back from being considered the absolute GOAT at everything. Because the rest of his game is insane. His defense is kind of meh. But Bryce, the only thing holding him back really is his size. He's not injured a lot. He had an AC injury, only missed, I think, one game, and that was the game. I don't even think he missed the game. He just didn't play as well against Tennessee. I think Bryce ends up being closer to like the Allen Iverson of the NFL. Dude who takes the league by storm, comes in and just balls out. I think that's your better comp, in my opinion, the Allen Iverson. Now let's talk about let's kind of move on to who should we draft. So you're saying if we draft Bryce Young, will D'Amico? Yes. Yes. If he beats out Davis Mills and Case Keenum, then he should start. Like, the best players should start. That's just how it is. But I for the fans' sake and just money's sake, I think to really answer, like, kind of go off of what you're saying, Willie, I think he has to start regardless. The rookie has to start week 1. I don't think the fans want to see Davis Mills trotted out there. But yeah, that would be a similar situation to the Tom Savage, Deshaun Watson situation, where Tom Savage started for the first half, got sacked 12 times, and then, got benched at halftime. I don't think anybody wants that happening. No, we don't want a first half of Davis Mills, and then, we don't want none of that. The Colts would be a terrible thing, and I'm sorry, but that would be unfortunate. Atlanta is a great opportunity for Mills, but yeah, I don't think he's got a future here for much longer. I think him or EJ Perry, maybe even both of them, are gone. Honestly, Davis Mills probably stays here in his practice squad, or he is the third QB that we keep on the roster. What other position we dial back on, I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. The AI comparison, I got y'all with that. Don't worry, I know my history when it comes to sports. Hey, don't be sleeping on Seth Curry, though. Steph Curry is great, but Seth Curry also has that unlimited range. He just doesn't get as much attention. He doesn't have the handles, and he's just as injury prone, and his defense is worse. But he's got that same unlimited range. That boy can shoot. Do I think we wait for the draft to trade Cooks? Maybe. I think in terms of style points, that would be a good idea. In terms of what we want to know what we're gonna have on draft day, I think you should trade him sooner rather than later, or trade him after the season. Get some team that needs a wide receiver after the draft. Trading him after the draft might actually be the strat. Think about it. We get to the draft, we get our wide receiver that we want. We have Cook still on the roster. We trade him after the draft. and can get additional picks that we want from a team that really needs a wide receiver that didn't get one during the draft. Could be the strategy. Not saying that we do it, but you might be able to artificially raise the price of Brandon Cooks by waiting till after the draft and after all the chips kind of fall where they may, and we see what happens there. So we could wait till draft night. We could do it before draft night if we get the right picks, or we could wait till after, steal someone's player, and grab a better pick or just better picks. I think we should probably wait and see what. I think we wait until we see what Jerry Jeudy gets, or wait and see what DeAndre Hopkins gets. Honestly, I don't know if Judy's getting traded for a bunch. I don't think he's getting a first. If he's getting a first, then we're getting a third and a fifth for Cooks. So that's just kind of my thought. Honestly, if I was going to trade him, I would trade Cooks and a third for Judy. Give me that all day. I don't think he stays at all. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends of the show,
surprise,
Money Matt, everybody. How you doing, Matt? It's good to see you, my guy.
I'm late.
A little late, but hey, those who are late to the party are always fashionably late, and it is a good day to have you on. Matt, it has been a while since we've been on together.
It really has.
We've been busy, but how you been, my guy? How you been?
I've been busy, but I mean, that's how it is. Like when you start getting older, like stuff starts coming in, you get busy left and right, and it's crazy, but
yeah, definitely, it is crazy. It is crazy. Jerry's showing you some love. I know everybody else in the chat knows.
What's up, Jerry?
They're showing you love as well. D-Hop. So just kind of catch you up real quick. We have been talking a bit about free agency. We're talking a little bit about what's going on in the draft and what we should be kind of looking at. We've kind of gone back to free agency and who we should trade for. Donate yourself $100. Hilarious. I think though we had kind of been talking about wide receivers. The question was asked by Jerry here: do we think that we are going to wait for the draft to trade Cooks? My thought was it's possible. If we want to have a little bit of pizzazz and flavor. If we want to feel real safe, we could stay. We kind of trade him now and be done with it and know where we're going to sit. But I have this kind of gut feeling that we wait till after the draft. Let all the pieces fall where they may and wait for a wide receiver needy team to give us a bunch of stuff for Brandon Cooks. What do you think?
I could see that as a possibility, but I think it can happen any time really. Like I think it could happen to the days leading up to the draft. I think it could happen during the draft. Like a team is gonna need a proven wide receiver, whether it be like depending on where he goes. I don't know if he'll necessarily be a wide receiver one, but he's a proven leader when he wants to be a leader, and like we can either use him as a bargaining chip to move up a couple spots in the draft. Like for me, I was thinking about this on the way over. A dream draft scenario for me would be Bryce Young at 2, Nolan Smith at 12, and use 33 and maybe Cooks or one of our 2 third-round picks to move back up into the first and get a falling wide receiver, whether it be Jackson Smith and Jigba, which I don't know how far he'll fall if he falls. Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers, but that's just me.
Yeah, I actually think the strat is to take Zay Flowers with wide receiver in the draft, trade back a bit and grab him, or trade back a bit and get like a Nolan Smith, get a linebacker help, get edge help, get something like that. I don't know.
Or another wide receiver that would be really good is Marvin Mims from Oklahoma.
Yeah, but I think you can get him later in the.
He's fast.
Yeah, I think he's gonna fall into the second or maybe even third round.
Probably.
So I think you can probably grab him. Same thing with Zay Flowers. I think you can get either one of them at the top of the second, somewhere between the top of the second and the middle of the third. It's kind of a wide range, but it just depends on who you want and when you want them. So I think we've got options there, and I think there's also the option again, like I was saying, of kind of going, hey, Cooks, maybe we could trade you you could go play with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, a coach he's played for in the past, and go over there to Denver and we'll trade you in a fourth or you in a third for Jerry Jeudy. And you've got some talent right there. Straight up. Young talent that you can work with in the future. That's a proven number one receiver. So yeah, we've kind of talked about that. We've talked about free agency. Let's kind of get your opinion on this free agency. What do you think, or who do you think is your? I'll bring up the question again. Who is your least favorite free agent, and who is your favorite free agent move that we've made, and what grade do you give us so far in free agency?
Let's see here. Are we like strictly free agent signings or like total offseason moves so far?
Let's just do the free agent moves and then we'll go into offseason moves later.
Okay. So favorite free agency move is probably definitely Jimmy Ward, because he knows like what D'Amico's going to want to run. He's been on really good 49ers teams. He's been on really bad 49ers teams. So he can come in right away and be a mentor to Kenyon Green. He can be a mentor to Derek Stingley, Jalen Petrie, Christian Harris. Kid's going to be like, I say kid, but he's been in the league for I don't even know how long, but he's probably by far, a while. Hello, Beige. But yeah, Jimmy Ward is my favorite signing so far. My least favorite signing is probably either, I'm going to say Mike Boone, because I think it was Cody Stutes had a real funny tweet about it. He said, Mike Boone, that's a weird way to spell Marlon Mack, because I don't know if Mike Boone is going to be a part of the 53-man roster, so he'll be kind of that Marlon Mack and be the veteran that gets cut.
And what grade do you give us? What do you give us before we kind of move on?
Grade, I give it about a B.
Fair. So we gave the same grade. Beige is going with Derek Rivers for the least favorite move. I'm going with Scott Quessenberry. As I said that earlier, Scott Quessenberry was the worst move we could have ever made. That was terrible. I think our best move was Sheldon Rankins. That and Hassan Ridgeway really shored up that line. I really think that was a good move. And then I also said that my worst loss, because we did lose some people, was allowing Tremont Smith to get gone, and Agbo Nkwonkwo.
Absolutely, yeah.
Those were two big losses in my opinion. But y'all know why I think Tremont Smith is a big loss. Joey, my boy Joey, doesn't get it, but Tremont Smith is the GOAT on special teams. I know that people don't get it, but that man played super well. He was the ace on a ridiculously good special teams all year.
We was hyping that man up. Like, normally, like when me and Jay broke down like the games, we always had to throw in like 2 or 3 special teams plays because Tremont Smith just made you go, wow.
Yeah.
But, because like normally, like when we agreed to do it, we was gonna just do offense and defense, but then we'd go through and Tremont Smith was flying around the field like a bat out of hand, and it's just like, holy cow. But
There
he's
were
going to
at
be missed
least
for sure.
there were at least 3 snaps a game in which Tremont Smith was the first person down the field easily by like 10 yards. So he will absolutely be missed in that special teams role. I don't want to see Tavier Thomas get hurt again trying to play in his role. Hopefully we grab somebody. Maybe Mike Boone can step in and do the exact same thing Tremont Smith was doing. But yeah, I find it interesting that Derek Rivers, I think y'all forgot. Y'all must have forgot. Derek Rivers was sacking people left and right in the preseason.
Preseason
Left
MVP.
and right. And this was on 1s, 2s, and 3s. He was all over the place. And then he tore his pec. I think that's a honestly,
He might be a good depth piece.
Yeah, he might be a really good depth piece in a defense that needs depth. So I think Derek Rivers, he doesn't have a lot of tape. I think that's a great play. Questenberry's got to be it. Yes, Scotty Q. Yeah. Josh knows. Josh knows. But yeah. Though I think the B is the great one. I'll ask you this question as well. Who do you want us to pick up of the remaining free agents? To kind of give you a hint, I had stated that I wanted Jadeveon Clowney. That is a run stuffer, and that's what we need. We need run stuffing. We've grabbed 2 pieces that can help us with that. Off the bat, Malik Collins is your starter alongside of Sheldon Rankins. You grab Jadeveon Clowney, that is 3 run stuffing pieces on a front 4. You just got to draft another one.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind the Jadeveon Clowney coming back to H-Town. Will it happen? Probably not, but I can, if it happens, I'm not going to be upset.
Absolutely, yeah.
Another one, I've been hearing rumors floating around about Devin Bush. Don't know how likely that would be because I know he got hurt. I think he tore his ACL however many years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, and the athleticism never really came back, but he was still a former first-round pick. I think the Steelers traded up 10 or 15 spots to get him, so he was a freak. So if we can get some of that caliber, I guess, to come into Houston and maybe be a teacher to Christian Harris, that'd be cool. Miles Jack would be a good one. I mean, hey, that's just me.
Miles Jack has not played
in my
very
opinion,
well.
we could use all the linebacker help we can get.
I could agree on that, but Miles Jack has been solid C- material. You're talking about he's been Christian Kirksey the last 2 years. I don't want that guy.
Maybe he just needs to change the scenery.
I like this.
I forgot all about Frank Clark, honestly.
I did as well, but really the person that I want out of this list, CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Gardner-Johnson with Jalen Petrie and Jimmy Ward, that secondary is legitimately a no-fly zone.
Oh.
Ghost opening your door real quick. That's cool. But I think CJ Gardner-Johnson has to be the strat here. That is a great stuff there. We have safeties, but you can never. I don't want Jonathan Owens seeing the field with the Texans ever again. If Jimmy Ward is your 3rd safety, come on now. Come on now. Let's be smart about it. I think JD does get some love there. He is a great run stuffer. That's what you need. I'm not saying put him in pass interference, because that's what he would get. Pass rush all the time. I think you can get him pretty cheap, though. I think you can get him on a 1-year, $7 million deal. He hasn't played great as a pass rusher in the last couple of years, but he has played as a great run stuffer. I think last year he had a $10 million deal. He's gotten a year older. I think you can grab him on a 1-year, $7 million or a 2-year, $13 million deal. I think you can do that because we're talking about We're talking about Nick here. He doesn't go beyond 2-year deals with vets. Come on now. So I think that is something that you could grab. But yeah, I think those are people that we could definitely go off of. Asking you this question though, Matt, who should we draft? I think we should. I honestly think Bryce Young is the pick. My gut tells me still is CJ, only because I had this feeling a while back and I've stuck by it the whole time. I think CJ is kind of the pick. But that's just, it is what it is. I really want Bryce. I think he'd come in. I said he'd be the AI of the league if he comes in, and by AI I mean Allen Iverson, not Andre Iguodala. I think he'd come in and just dominate it in a different way than you could ever say. I know people compare him to Steph Curry, but I think Steph Curry has more weaknesses than what we see from Bryce. AI's weakness was that he didn't want to practice. That was it. We talk about practice. AI had everything else. The man had hops. The man had shooting. The man had no weaknesses in his game besides his size. Besides the fact that he was a point guard trying to play small forward. Everything else, AI was a monster. So I think that's what we're looking at with Bryce Young. Who do you think we should draft? Who's somebody you really want to see us draft? Outside of Bryce Young, obviously.
Outside of Bryce Young, Darnell Washington.
I should have known.
You definitely should have known.
I should have known. I also want to see him.
That dude is 6'7", 270 pounds, and is just an athletic freak.
Yeah.
Like, he had that spectacular one-handed catch at the combine, which, like, if you watch it back, it wouldn't have been a touchdown in the league because he had 1 foot out. But that's something he can fix easily. Plus, when it came time to do the blocking drills for the tight ends, he was pushing that sled like it weighed nothing, while other tight ends barely got it 3 yards.
Yeah.
Like, having Darnell Washington would be like having another lineman. And if you're telling me I just had a complete blank. But Laramie Tunsil, Kenyon, hopefully improved Kenyon Green, whoever at center, which I know it's better not be Scott Quessenberry week 1. Shaq Mason and Titus Howard, and then Darnell Washington right next to him. Like, whoever our QB is, like, he's going to have plenty of time in the pocket.
Exactly. Hopefully the center is John Michael Spitz. I will say, I know that Beige is saying Nolan Smith. I know we've got a whole lot of people that people are talking about, but this has been a guy that I've kind of been high on for a while, mainly because of his name and the meme factor for it, but also because of what the heck we saw in the combine. Bring me Andrew Voorhees, guard, USC.
Monster.
Absolute monster. That man benched a combine record on a torn ACL.
He probably would have did like 5 more reps had he been able to plant the seat.
He could have
too.
done 10 more reps because he would have had everything under him. He only had 1 leg. The man couldn't even, he did that all arms. If he had his whole core, he would have done 10 reps more easy. Bring me Andrew Voorhees.
I'd be A-okay letting him sit behind and learning from Shaq Mason while he's rehabbing. Like,
absolutely.
That pick would be perfect.
Absolutely. Let him come in. If Kenyon Green doesn't work out, throw Voorhees in. You've got a monster. Straight up. Absolute. Also, he plays tackle as well. So if you don't decide to bring back Titus Howard next year, you've got your right tackle of the future. So that's kind of my thing about who we should draft. That's kind of my draft crush right there. Adam Thielen's kind of old, but I wouldn't mind him. And Connor McGovern, I think that's your best bet now. I think that's about who you can get if you're trying to go there. But if we can't get him, John Michael Smith, center. I think that's your play. All right. Yeah, I think we trade back from 12, possibly grab another second or third. I think Josh said it best. Actually, this might be the strat here. Trade back, get in the 19 to 25 range, and grab a third or maybe a second. If you can grab another second, that's perfect. Because I think you could grab your Nolan Smith, and you could grab your whoever you want at wide receiver. You probably will still be able to get a JSN there. No. Voorhees probably will go in the second or third round. I think after what he might go in the third. I think what he proved he can do even with the torn ACL. I think teams are going to take a chance. If he falls to the fifth round, grab that man. Grab him as fast as you can and let him come into camp with the Jason Voorhees mask. Let him do it. Just let him do it. All right. I think we've discussed enough here. Let me try and share my screen here. Because I figured we could do a mock draft.
I did, Beige.
Thanks for coming out, Jerry. It's good to have you on, man. We'll talk soon. All right, so let's do a mock draft. In the chat, go ahead and throw out what we should do. Do you want us to trade up to number 1? I don't want to. Do you want us to stick with number 2? Do you want us to trade back? What do you want us to do with the second pick? Go ahead and drop that in the chat. And while we wait for that, let's do that here. While we wait for that, might want to remind you guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. I think most of you guys have already. So follow us on Twitter and chat with us. Let us know what you guys think. Stay at 2 and grab Bryce Young. I think that's the strat. Let's see what happens. If Bryce Young is taken by Carolina, what do you, or whoever trades up, what do you think we should do? Should we grab CJ? I think we should. I think that's the strat. I think to stay at 2 and grab Bryce Young is probably the play. So let's start this draft. Let's see what's going on. I don't know if y'all can see that, but there is no stay at 2 and grab Bryce Young because Bryce Young is gone.
Bryce Young is a Carolina Panther.
So my thought here is we just grab CJ. Like that.
I would like to note that once the clock starts, once we're on the clock to pick whoever at 2, that's also, I believe, when Nick Casario's clock starts.
That better, Leash? Yeah. Once we're on the clock, I think that's when his clock starts. So we could see that Will Anderson went 3, Will Levis went 4. Jalen Carter is off the board at 5 at Seattle. That's interesting. Tyree Wilson goes at pick 6. Interesting. Christian Gonzalez here at 7. AR goes to the Falcons. Quentin Johnson is already off the board. And Peter Skoronski is gone. All right. So you guys can see what we've got. We've got Devon Witherspoon, who might actually be a good pick here. Jackson Smith and Jigba. We could trade back. Let's see who wants to trade with us. We've got Chargers at pick 21, which is kind of where we were talking about. I think I wouldn't want to go past 25. Maybe 27 would be the lowest I'd go. But the Giants and the Chargers. Where's Kalijah at? Let's look. Back this up real quick. Let's look at it. So we could go Kalijah here. Lucas Van Ness is here. Reese, Miles Murphy. So we could go back and grab Zay Flowers or Jordan Addison. We don't want Bijan. We could grab Michael Mayer. Nolan Smith is in that 21 range. Do we want to trade back? Do we want to stay? What do you say, Matt? I know Beige is saying Kalijah or trade back.
I think here it's Njigba or trade back.
Interesting. Njigba or trade back. I do like the idea of Njigba because we did pick up Stroud.
Because the way I see it, if CJ Stroud is the pick for us at 2, one of two things has to happen. We either have to get Njigba this year, or we have to completely guarantee that we're able to land Marvin Harrison next year.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. I think we have to go Njigba here. Trading back to get Nolan or Kalijah is kind of an issue, but I would like to do that, but I think you have to give him a wide receiver. You have to give him somebody he needs, or one of his safety belts off the bat. And that's got to be him and Njigba here, Smith and Njigba, or we have to go with a good tight end. Your Michael Mayer.
They don't have Darnell to like 70 or something, but
Darnell
he goes until like 30, or like he goes mid 30s, early to mid 40s.
So Beige is saying we trade back and try and get Nolan. What do you say, Matt?
I think you take Njigba here, but then use 33 and maybe Cooks in the third or something along those lines. Trade back into the first, and then because then you're doing what the Jets did last year. You pick your 2 first-round picks, and then they had a pick early at the top of the second that they traded back into the first and ended up getting Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, so I think that's a good play. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the Jackson Smith and Jigba trade here. I might just stay and try and get Darnell at 33. So let's do this. We're going to do this. We're going to pause here. And I think we're going to trade. We're going to try and get back in at 29, 27. We're going to try and get back into, because we definitely want to trade this. And let's do Cooks with. You want to try and get that Eagles pick?
Who's are like in the later 20s? Because I feel like we might be able to finesse.
Chargers, the Ravens, the Seahawks, the Jags, the Giants. I would stay away from here. Maybe the Giants. The Cowboys have been itching for him for a while. The Bills,
Giants are interested in Cook, so he might be able. That might be a realistic option.
So we go with the Giants
or the Cowboys. I meant
the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a little bit of discord here. We've got some Giants and some Cowboys. Let's see what we can.
NFC East wants Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. So let's look. We want 25. Do we think we could get something else?
See if we can keep 33, but give him 73. No, that ain't gonna work. 65 maybe? No, that ain't gonna work. So it's gotta be 33.
No, I like this.
Yeah.
But let's see what we can get from. Let's see what we can go for with the Cowboys real quick. So we're still doing this. We're going for 26. I like that better.
Yeah.
And this way we can trade back up. So let's offer. Let's offer this trade. Accept it. So Brandon Cooks goes. We trade out of 33 and we get 26 and 90. So let's resume. All right. Hey. Hey.
Hey, let's go.
So look at this. Look at this. Elijah Cansey, Nolan Smith, Will McDonald, all right there. Who are we going for? Cansey? Nolan?
This right here is a wonderful situation to have.
This is a great situation because you've got all three of these you can take right here. And honestly, Kalijah Cansey might be the strat here. This might be your strat because this allows you to cut Roy or Nolan. No, this is a good pick.
And
that is, I agree.
Let's see what we have for trade offers here. Because then we may be able to.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Nope. Absolutely not. So it's got to be one or the other. This is tough.
Beige is saying we need edge.
I
I would say we do this if we pick up Clowney.
The way I see it, we picked up, 2 defensive tackles so far in free agency?
We did. We picked up Sheldon Rankin and we picked up Hassan Ridgeway, I think.
So, and we lost Okoronkwo, so we don't really have anyone across from Jonathan Grenard still. So, personally,
Yeah.
I do think Nolan Smith is the right choice here.
All right, so let's take him. We'll take a Nolan Smith here. Let's see what happens as we move ahead in the draft. Benton later. All right. Tank Dell. Okay, we're at pick 65. Tank Dell's still there, y'all.
I know he's not going to be, but let's check to see if Darnell is still on the board. Yeah, he's gone.
Darnell went 44. That's unfortunate.
That's tough.
That's rough, buddy. Andre Carter went a few picks before. Yeah, Tank Dell, I think we could grab a little later. What's our next pick? 73. So we have the option here of grabbing. We got Smith and Jigba. I think we don't want Tank Dell at the same time. I think we want. I'm not. Do we want CB? Ika's there? Siaka? Oh, Lordy. There you go. Siaki Ika is right there. Now, here's what we could do. Hopefully, he's still there, but we could do Ika and A-Chain or Ika and Battle. I would do Ika and A-Chain. What do you think, Matt?
I would probably do the same thing.
We could trade back to 69. 4 picks back. I don't know where we're getting out of that. We have all these picks here. So there's 69, 70, 80, 81, 82. I think anything past 70 is not worth it. I think we stay here. I think we grab Siaka Ika. But we still do need a center.
I think Uh, the center from, I believe, Arkansas, Ricky Stormberger, I think his name is. I think he might be there with our 90th pick. I could be wrong.
Oh yeah, we could do that. So let's go ahead. Let's grab then Ika, and let's grab him. That shores up our defensive interior, and then hopefully we can get A-Chain here if he's not been taken. I think he was. A-Chain was taken. Dang. So
going to the Raiders.
So Tank Dell is still here. We could also grab his center, our quarterback center.
That's fascinating. I'd say that'd be the move, honestly, because I think he's honestly BPA.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Plus, like, everyone's worried, and I know Stutz is because he talks about it all the time on the Wheelhouse, talking about how he doesn't want a rookie center and a rookie QB paired up going into their rookie season.
But if he's
what if
rookie,
what if they were collegiate teammates?
Yeah,
like they already know each other and like the snap count and all the cadences. So
yeah. Beige, you've been pretty active. What do you think? What should we do? This should we go after Luke Weipler? Let us know in the chat here. I think we should. I think this is a good play here. Tank Dell is good, but I think he is literally. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's lock in Weipler. All right, remember that we did trade back, or so we do have a pick 90 here. So here, let's kind of look back at what we've done so far. So we got a center, we got our quarterback, we've got defensive interior, we've grabbed edge in Nolan Smith.
We've got our wide receiver one.
We got wide receiver one in Jackson Smith and Jigba, and we got our CJ quarterback there. So let's kind of look down here. Let's see here at pick 90 what we can grab. So
linebacker Bigby would be a solid option.
The halfback position?
Yeah.
I do like the idea of a linebacker or CB.
For sure.
Garrett Williams and Hodges Tomlinson are the top two right now on the board. Linebacker wise, Overshown is probably the best one there.
For sure.
But I think, what's our next pick after this? 104? I think we could grab him. Hopefully he falls there. I might want to grab a CB here. And I'm kind of leaning towards Hodges Tomlinson. Oh, he did get cooked.
See if the corners from Maryland are still here. Because both those guys are absolute speedsters. And could learn a lot from Steven Nelson and Desmond King and Javier Thomas. Because then you could probably grab one of those guys later, and then you could grab DeMarvion.
Corian Bennett.
Yeah. I say wait till 104. I don't want to. This is tricky.
Yeah, it is. It is a bit tricky here. There's
so many players here that I like.
Honestly, I kind of want to grab either a tight end or a linebacker, and I think the strat here would be to grab Overshown. I think that's your best play.
Yeah.
And I think we can hold off a bit and grab a CB here later.
Heck, so if anything else, because our secondary group is honestly set. That's like, if we go secondary, we're just drafting for depth. Like Overshown, he'd come in and he'd be not playing right away, but he'd be definitely getting some early reps. And then
Agreed.
around 104, I think maybe either Tajay Spears or Deuce Vaughn would be the move.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's grab Overshown here, and let's see what happens if we can grab Tajay Spears this one. Wow.
No, Deuce didn't go. Did he? No, Deuce is still there. Okay.
So I think we can grab Deuce here. It might be a bit early, but look at this. You still got these guys here. I do think Deuce is the pick here, though. When's our next pick after this?
187.
187. So let's grab. We've got a good chunk of picks back to back to back. Let's grab Deuce here. And then I want to trade back up with either 202 and 231 or something so we can grab something else. So let's do this. Let's pause real quick and let's trade.
Oh no!
What?
Look at 106.
No! He's gone. He's gone, gents.
That's tough.
That's tough right there. All right, we're gonna trade 202 and 200, and we're gonna try and get back into somewhere in between 187 and where we are right now. So maybe we can try and grab Did we trade 187 to the Bucks? Did we swap? Did we trade into the Bucks?
I honestly don't know. I haven't seen the full trade details from the Shaq Mason trade because I was at work when it happened. So
I have not been able to look at it either.
Oh well, in this fantasy world, we still have it, so we're gonna use it.
Yeah, it's here. I trust this implicitly. So I would say let's try and get 140. I don't know if this is gonna work. Nope, it ain't gonna work. If you throw in a 7, nope, it ain't gonna work.
Maybe throw in a couple first round picks.
No, that's not happening. 179. Let's trade Brevin.
Bye-bye.
I like this. I like the idea of getting rid of Brevin Jordan. And letting him go. Yeah, and let Teagan kind of be the guy and then try and grab a good tight end here. So I'm gonna let this trade go through. And we're back on the clock at 140. Wait.
I know what you did. You pressed the wrong button.
Rip. Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well. We goofed it.
Ooh.
But
the pick here is Chandler. Easy.
Chandler Zavala guard. All right. Let's go. We're gonna grab that. All right. Let's see what we got. Juice. I think it's got to be Juice here, right?
It's 100% got to be Juice.
And then, oof. Let's look at tight end. Is there anything left that's of value? Not really. Who wants to trade with us? The Chiefs want to trade with us. I'm good, thanks. Well, that sucked. Who do we take here? BPA? Grab the halfback? No, I think that's too many. Safety? Is Boye Mafi's? No, wrong player, wrong last name.
I think here we maybe take a tackle.
Haggard's the best one on the board currently.
Yeah.
We'll grab him. We'll draft this fool. And let's see what we can grab with 231.
I think D Winters is the move here. Linebacker.
Roger. All right. So outside of accidentally pressing the wrong button, we have a draft. So let's look at what we got. We got CJ Stroud. We got Jackson Smith and Jigba. We traded back up into the first round and grabbed Nolan Smith. I think this right here is a dream scenario. We grabbed Siaka Ika. We grabbed CJ Center from college. We grabbed DeMarvion Overshown. I know it says it's a C plus pick, but that's okay. We get Deuce Vaughn, Chandler Zavala, Juice Scruggs, Luke Haggard, and D Winters. That's a pretty good draft, and PFF agrees with it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna copy this image real quick. Let's see here. I'm gonna post this into our Discord. For those who aren't a part of the Texans Thoughts Discord, to join, go ahead and jump on over to the Texans Thoughts YouTube channel.
I'm living in Bage's head rent free. I own real estate in that man's head.
Rent free, he said. Let's get that in there real quick. I know some of you might struggle to see it, but use your eyes, your young eyes. All right, so we've got ourselves a draft in there. If you guys liked it or disliked it or whatever, think it's just meh, let me know. Drop that information in the chat. But yeah, we have gone through our mock draft. Let's move into questions. So we talked about a lot today. Let's kind of do a quick recap. I talked a bit about this, the situation going on with John Morant, and compared and contrasted it with Deion Sanders. We know what's going on with John Morant. We know, Matt, how you feel about the Memphis Grizzlies. We know he's been suspended for 8 games for acting an absolute idiot and doing hood rat stuff with his friends and being a halfway crook. We know what's all going on there. It is what it is. But I kind of mentioned that we want to, in contrast to what Ja is doing, instead of exemplifying that behavior and allowing behavior like that to kind of stay, we should be looking at people like Deion Sanders, who is attempting to pull people up. And he's been trying to do that for a while. And we should exemplify that rather than, yeah. Oof. Beige had us. We didn't even look. Yeah. We figured he'd fall farther, Beige, but he went at 106. It's still a good draft. We got a pretty good grade. We got Deuce Vaughn there, but we could have had Voorhees. I think that's a really good draft there. But it is what it is. We talked a bit about free agency and who we thought was the worst and the best. obviously, the worst unanimously is Scott Quessenberry. The best is kind of out there. Jimmy Ward, Sheldon Rankin, various other players. I think we got good stuff. We talked about who we should draft. We all know that we should draft Bryce Young. I have my draft crust being as Andrew Voorhees. Matt, it's Darnell Washington.
I'm a big Darnell Washington guy.
Yeah.
Give me Darnell this year and Brock Bowers next year. I'll be a happy man.
It'll be a good draft if we could get that. A good 2 years if we grab that. We traded for Shaq Mason, Shaquille Olajuwon Mason.
Timeout 30. Last time we had a player named Shaq, and we started throwing around the term Shaq Attack. He's no longer on the team.
Yeah, Shaq Barrett did not turn out very well. Let's
Shaq Lawson.
Shaq Lawson, my bad. He did not turn out very well.
We didn't know he was there, Beige.
Calm down, Beige. We messed up. It was the first draft. It's the first time in months I've streamed. Calm down. It's cool. Keep milking it, man. Keep milking it. We had a mock draft. We saw how it went and posted it in the Texans Thoughts Discord. Join the family there. There's a lot of stuff that's said there, a lot of fun that's had there. Join the family. We'd love to have you. And of course, there's questions. Anything else that you guys want to know? Anything else y'all want to talk about before we jump off? If not, friendly reminder to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, you guys know where to find us. We are on YouTube. We are on all the major podcasting networks. That is on Spotify. That is Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. As you know, we are the Moderate Texan Podcast. That is Money Matt.
You're the Moderate Texan Podcast.
I'm the Moderate Texan. This is the Moderate Texan Podcast. You guys know how it is. We looked through the darkness. We found a little bit of light, and we brought it right back to the middle. I'm Jade. That's Matt. It's been a good day. I love you all. We out. Love you. Peace.